What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of Behind the Rhyme. I'm your host, Lady B, and my partner, Charlie Mack Man in the building.
Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
Did you enjoy your week off? Because we had a week off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On Behind the Rhyme.
I can't say that I really enjoyed it because I worked just as hard as I've been working. So right. Yeah.
Because it's been a real last few weeks. I'm talking about in terms of us, Black people in particular. Right? We've been in a COVID, but I'm saying, you know what, Lady B, I must tell you, we as Black people, kings and queens, we've been in COVID for over 400 years.
We sure have. We have been in the middle of a pandemic, if you will.
We've been pandemic, looting, stealing, robbing. We've been in a real situation. For
Getting beat up, locked up for no apparent reason.
Yeah, murdered, viciously murdered,
illegally murdered.
We gotta call it. We can't say he got killed. He was murdered, viciously murdered.
Yeah, he was. Period. A crime was committed, Charlie Mack. A crime was committed for sure.
And this supposed to be in this country, if you commit a crime, you have to do the time.
Yeah. The operative word is suppose.
Suppose, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
brother, all we can do is pray that a change is coming. Keep our foot on this gas pedal the way we are. Keep making these videotapes. I was never a big fan of technology. I thought it took away from the connection of us as a people, but I'm all for it now. I say keep the tapes coming.
Oh no, it works. It definitely works. Listen, I am something else Spielberg. I'm not gonna say what I usually say, but I'm something else Spielberg. For the show, I'm gonna say Charlie Spielberg.
Okay, Charlie Spielberg.
If I get my tape on.
Yeah, you do. You're forever taping something.
Always. Like, can you put that camera away? Nope.
I am not.
Don't do that. You can ask me something else. That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. And you've had that camera rolling for years now. So you keep it up, good brother.
1970, I've been rolling.
You keep it up, good brother. Yes. All right, let's welcome our distinguished guest tonight, Charlie.
Let's do it.
You can go first.
I want to bring in a hip-hop legend. A hip-hop legend. You know what I mean? He's the chubster. I like to call him the chubster. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's still going for that because, again, that was like, some years ago. So we'll find out. But anyway, give it up for our brother, CHUBB Rock.
Yeah.
Who affectionately has the best name for me. He calls me Lady Second Lover.
Fitting. What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, Chubb?
Hey, God is good.
Yes, he is. So every day, all day.
Definitely. So we're here, looking for the new change. I like the energy.
I
love it. Oh, always hopeful.
Always hopeful.
I always bet on us.
Always bet on us. Yeah, we're resilient. We're a resilient group of people. We literally, are like, I think we're more than cats because we've been laying on our feet for
we have more than 9 lives, right?
They keep trying to put us on our back, but we still keep getting up.
That's right.
Such that we get a chance to see a day like this where we actually could possibly see some change.
I think we're going to see change. I mean, there's some change already happening. There's some legislature going on right now. Mm-hmm. So there's different changes that's going on. I think that we have to demand certain things.
Right.
And once you demand them, right now, the world, literally the planet, is protesting.
Ooh.
It isn't just Philly or Brooklyn or Atlanta, or the globe is protesting. And that has never happened ever in the history of the planet. This is the first time. So I think that things are definitely changing.
So someone said something code. I won't take it as claim it as mine, but they said, luckily we just want we want change. We don't want revenge. Luckily, you know what I mean? Right. And that's real.
That's the word I've been using for the last week. Change. I don't want to hear any more excuses. I don't want to hear any more reasons. I don't want to hear any more ignorance. The ignorant are those who don't know. Well, now. We are putting it in your face every day in every shape, form, and fashion. There is no way you can say that you don't No.
Well, you know,
and with that being said, let's bring our brother in, L.A. Laker, slam dunk king, number 23, that let Kobe actually wear 23. Our brother CEBALLOS.
Yeah.
And don't forget DJ.
What's good? What's good? What's good?
Yeah, don't forget his DJ skills.
Yeah,
don't forget that.
No, I'm just me. CEBALLOS, DJ CEBALLOS. That's just me.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
well,
go.
Lady B knew. So
that's right.
Right. But hey, before we get started, obviously, Charlie, man, we've been brothers for years. I appreciate everything. Love you to death, man. CHUBB, man, I salute you, man. Fan for years, been listening for years. We never shook hands or hugged before. Saw you in person, but I was in the stand, paying my dollars to see you. Lady B, come on. You already know what you've done to hip hop, and I appreciate everything that you bring and continued success to all of you guys.
Continued blessings to you, my brother. Blessings to you. It was nice, man. It's a nice forum. I'm excited about it. I can't wait till we start and get into this thing.
Well, CHUBB, you was actually I wanted to bring Ced in just so he could be a part of the conversation, but you were actually going to make a statement, or you not necessarily make a statement, but your opinion, kind of give us your insight. So I want to allow you to do that.
I mean, this is a beautiful time, man. I mean, it's too bad that our brother George Floyd is going to be basically a martyr at this point.
A martyr.
A martyr. But, you know, the reality to it at this point is that there will be change because of this. The whole world watched murder live on television.
Murder on television, live.
On television. Now, you've seen black people get dogs sick on them. You've seen the after effects of murder. You've seen water hoses and all of these things, but you have never watched 9 minutes of murder that at any point he could have gotten off of the brother and he would be here to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
And that really did something, man. First of all, it hit every mother on the planet. Every mother that has a child and heard him screaming, yell for his mom, that hit every mother to the soul. And
to our core.
To the core, man. And between that and the brothers that was saying to themselves, man, I wish I was there because I would have, they would have to kill all of us because we would have pulled them off of the brother. And it reminded me.
What do you think about that? That's the thing. It's like, one of y'all stop filming and knock the cop off. Take one for the team. Knock the cop off. At least it would have disrupted it.
As a woman, I think everything in my being would have been smacked upside my head and handcuffed that day because I would have had to jump and do something.
Yeah. You know, I spoke to Stephanie Mills.
And that's as a woman, I'm saying that.
I spoke to Stephanie Mills the other day, and she said the same thing. She was like, oh, CHUBB, they would have had to have shoot me, then killed me if I was there. And it's funny, I've always seen this video. It was a couple of cops in the Bronx, and they were manhandling a brother, and he was there with his lady. And a bunch of brothers surrounded those cops, even swung at them. And they was like, listen, you can't manhandle them in this manner. And they basically had to realize that there were a bunch of brothers that weren't going to allow them to do nonsense to this one brother. And they had to calm down and now realize how they need to handle the situation. You know, at some point you need to be able to know what is the actual crime that you are dealing with here. You know, because Dylan Roof killed 9 people and you took them to Burger King. So why wasn't Brother Floyd or anybody else that has our skin color allotted the same courtesy of a man that killed 9 innocent people in a church?
As opposed to a brother who may have used a fake 20 to get a pack of cigarettes. Think about what you just said.
No,
that's the part. That's the part. I mean,
that's what kills me, right?
That's the part I just can't wrap my brain around. That's the part that makes me cry at night. That's the part that makes me. I'm in disbelief that was what they were initially called for.
Hey, B.
Yeah.
Can we welcome in the soul brother Pete
Yes,
Rock
we
in the
can.
building.
One of my favorite people on the planet, Al. Legendary hip hopper Pete Rock, ladies and gentlemen. Woo, 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 woo. Can you hear us?
Your mic, turn your mic on, Pete.
All right, peace.
There we go.
There you
everybody.
go. Peace and blessings, good brother. How are you? We can hear you.
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Hey, Pete, you got a little.
What's good, man?
Pete, you got a little bit better light there you can put in front of you.
How you doing, man?
Pete, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, bro. How you?
I'm doing well, brother, with God's blessing, man. It's good to see you.
We really can't see you because you need a light on.
What's up, bro? Oh.
Yeah, you living kind of dark over there, my man. Yeah, try that.
While Pete get it worked out. Hey, Chubb, how you been making through with the COVID? Just prior to all this madness, where you been quarantining at, and how you been getting through? How you been making through?
Yeah, it's cool, man. I got the family. We're here at the house, and being safe, being diligent. I still do the radio show from home. Luckily, I've always had the equipment to do that at home. And just making sure that my son just graduated high school, man. We had to go through that emotion because the virtual graduation was not it, man. It was not it.
Not the same.
You wasn't feeling that. You wasn't feeling the virtual thing.
Oh no. Wasn't feeling it at all.
Not for 12 years. Getting him through 12 years. He needed to get that walk.
You know.
He really studied hard. He did really well, and so he might feel a certain way, but we're having our conversations about him because he can't go to college physically. He has to do it virtually for a year at least, I would think. And so I mean, hey, it's a different time. It's a different time.
I really feel bad for the graduates of 2020. I talked to Chubb when this pandemic first jumped off. He called into my show as I'm doing my show live from the crib too. And first of all, you were one of the first people that I talked to that I knew that lost a family member. And that broke my heart. That was one of my first time hearing someone that I love lose a loved one. It was sad. And
now it's 2.
You're up to 2 now?
Yeah.
Deepest condolences again, man. And I was so concerned, in the beginning of this when they were saying, New York is the hot spot and it was just mad pandemonium up there. And I'm like, oh my God, I had so many friends I was checking on. And, I thought about you a lot in the beginning of this pandemic. And I commend you for staying strong and pushing forward and going on with your show. And, you're a trooper. You're a trooper, Chubb.
I mean, I saw it happening right at the beginning of January. Beginning of January, I heard some things, and obviously with the administration we have, they never believe in science, and they weren't. He got rid of Obama's pandemic squad. He doesn't believe in the CDC. He doesn't believe in therapeutics. He believes in nothing on a scientific level. So, I knew that we were going to have some problems. And, the souls of 115,000 people rest into his psyche at the moment. But all we can do is try to persevere and hope that there's brilliant people out there 24 hours a day trying to find the right therapeutic for this thing.
All right. Is there an engineer out there or somewhere that's working with us that keeps moving their keyboard or moving something because you're in my ears and it's annoying? Stop. Yeah, stop it. Look, stop. Yeah, it's like a constant crunching noise. What are y'all doing? Mute yourself.
Yeah, I hear it.
It sounds like they're on a keyboard.
Yeah, that's very irritating.
Yeah, could y'all please get that out of our ear?
Please. Tom, Phil, and somebody help.
Somebody help us, because that's all we're hearing.
Please. Yeah. Okay, it stopped. Okay, there we go.
There you go. Thank you. I don't know.
Please keep it like that. Whatever y'all did, don't touch it.
Whatever you did, don't move. Look, don't move.
Hold your finger up in the air. Take a hanger. Don't move. Pete,
Pete, come back to us. He left.
Where's Pete? Where's Pete and said at? Where's said at too?
I don't know.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so said, how are you been making it through the COVID? You got kids too. What are you telling your kids about? I said you have sons.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what do you? And we're going to come back to CHUBB because I want to ask him that too. What are y'all telling your sons right about this time? What your kids about the COVID and of course what's going on in the world as far as this this really horrific time that we live in right now? What are you telling your sons?
Yeah, it's tough because they all play ball. Well, all my kids play ball, and this is the prime time. This is where you get better. This is where the AAU and all the tournaments. This is where the scouts all come. I have a senior that just graduated, and also I have a junior that's coming in too as well. So this is tough for them, and as much as I try to keep them off the video games, it's kind of tough because not going out and not going out is really is where I want to try to keep them. But we try to train as much as possible. We try to do things around the house as much as possible. Just be aware. I know they're anxious to go play ball, and even though I live in 4 different places, so in Dallas, in Texas, in Phoenix, and in LA, when we're there, even though the gyms are open and they want to go play ball, I'm like, I gotta hold them back, like, because I'm not really trying to fall for just because the economy is where it is, and the economy is not a problem with us, that people opening things up and putting them in positions to be at risk. My niece, she just got COVID 3 days ago.
Whoa.
Just because of all right, they're gonna open things up. So all right, cool. It's time for me to go out. Nah, it's because you think about it. What has changed since they shut the world down?
Nothing.
They still don't have a cure.
Not a damn thing.
They still don't have a cure. They still don't know how exactly you do get it. They don't have an epidemic. They don't have like a serum or any medication you can get it. They just saying it's just going to break away. It's going to go away, or we're going to try to treat it, or how are you treating it? They're not even revealing that
through osmosis.
Yeah.
Hey, B and Cedric and CHUBB, we have to welcome in a queen, my sister, the Lady Luck. Listen, a lyrical terror. She's gonna burn.
Lyricist.
She will burn you. She will burn you.
You guys can hear me, right? Can you hear me?
We can hear you clear. We can see you clear. You're looking beautiful.
You
all in.
Thank you so much. I tried. I don't know
the brim is tilted. The brim is tilted right.
I'm trying to hide the lash. I don't know if the lash is going on. Lady B, I love you.
I love you back, sister. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Okay, Lady B, you know my mother. You know my family.
So wait a minute. It wasn't until it clicked today earlier, that I realized that Donna is your mom.
And you're my godmother. So how crazy is it?
Wait a minute. Do you know that your mother found out when she was pregnant with you at my house? Like we looked at the test together like, oh snap! You're gonna have a baby. I got chills right now. I just want to hug you through the screen.
It's like the Maury show. I get to run back into my.
This is mad bananas right now.
Crazy.
So
this is so crazy. I love your mother so much. Please tell her that I love her. And
we're gonna connect after the show because I told her that I would be with you tonight, and she wanted me to holler at you. And CHUBB,
we gotta make that.
Thank you so much, and shout out to Pete Rock that was in the building. I mean, I'm just so thankful to be here, guys.
Don't forget the baller brother, DJ, welcome, Cedric CEBALLOS.
Cedric. So outside of doing rap music, I'm actually doing television now, and we're developing a show about NBA players like yourself. So I was gonna holler at everybody when we get out of here.
All right, now,
I didn't forget about anybody. I'm over here focused.
Hey, so look, I don't know if you know, I'm saying your art form, your godmother actually is the first female MC on record. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she did her first record called "To the Beach Hall." So you got.
That's how I met your mom up on Sugar Hill.
She's the first female rapper.
So who put the song out? You wasn't with Sugar Hill Records, right?
No, I was not, but I got paid from Sugar Hill Records. Girl, it's a real gangster story, but a white boy put me out here in Philadelphia on TEC Records, the same label as Frankie Smith. And he jerked me. He didn't pay me. So Mr. Joe found out and went and took my master, and then he put it out, and then he paid me.
Really? Uncle Joe paid somebody? What?
Everybody says that about Uncle Joe. That's wrong, but
He was gangster too. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Right, Chubb.
Sure enough, gangster. Sure enough, gangster.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Your mom is an iconic figure.
Yo,
I mean,
so Chubb,
quite a few times.
Oh, so look, we actually working on her movie with Netflix, so I'm pretty sure she's gonna be reaching out to all of y'all. It's a complete blessing, you know, and yeah, like it's dope. So trust me, we'll be everybody. I'm hitting everybody after the call.
Now, who's your mom? Because I'm the only one in the room. I'm sure said don't know neither. Because I'm saying again, you said they can make a mood about it, and I know everybody. So who's your mom?
Hey, we know you do. All right, but my mom is Donna Jones. So she was the first hip hop, I guess, radio promoter, right? She worked.
Wow.
That would be her, yes.
Yeah, so she worked the Rapper's Delight record, and
wow.
So a lot of that success is on my mom's back. Paul.
Wow.
Sure is,
yeah.
Congrats.
It's just amazing how that even came about, because I hit one of my producer friends for one of my other friends with a TV show. And I was like, hey, my guy got a show. And she was like, oh, I don't like it. What else you have? I said, well, I've been talking to somebody else's estate to do their movie. And she's like, okay, that's cool. What else you have? And I'm like, my mom? And she said, who your mom? And I gave her the bio and everything. And then we all shot.
So you about to get your EP on?
Oh yeah, no, I got a couple things. God is just out of control. No. God is out of control. Like, the closer I've gotten to him and the more I surrender and the more that I do right, it's just opportunities that's been coming to me under quarantine. So I'm right now working on a reality show as well. We're just waiting on that. So I don't want to say nothing, you know how it is, but I'm just waiting for the ink to dry. And, yeah, definitely writing movies and film. And like I was saying, we're putting together a show about basketball players and their daughters. We can build on that later. So until things come into full fruition, I don't want to let out the bag, but I think I said more than enough.
let me say something to you. We believe you have to own it. Just speak it into existence.
That's right.
You ain't gonna let's speak it. You got to own it. You got to say, this is what it is. I'm doing it. It's happening. It's going down. Claim it. Yeah. Because if you could think it, yes, you could achieve it. So all of that spooky stuff, I don't really submit to that. Whatever I want, I'm going to do. Period. Point blank. I'm gonna let you know.
Well, you're right.
And let me add to that. And you can't be afraid to let go of that old, to go get that new.
Right.
That's real. I mean, a lot of people always try to, okay, I got the security blanket, but this is not my dreams. This is not where I want to see myself in 5, 10, 15 years. And they hold on to that security blanket and not let go. I'm a product of that, because I had a very secure job with the Phoenix Suns. For 10 years, you know, doing my thing. And I probably would still be riding out, but I just wanted more for myself. So you got to really just say,
so
you
went to the Lakers.
I'm good.
He played for the Lakers, but
I had to go further.
Yeah, he played for the Lakers. He played for the Suns. He wouldn't got that check. Like you say, he wouldn't got that check. He wouldn't got that chilsy.
I'm just being mean.
Well, because we're from Philly. You know.
Yeah, you know.
I understand.
I'm sorry.
I understand.
That's fire.
So CHUBB. Go ahead. Who's talking?
You know what's interesting, man?
I won't step on nobody.
No, it's interesting when you think about Luck's mom and you think about the narrative of hip hop, right? Because the narrative of hip hop has always been, it was men that founded hip hop and was men that, you know, came up with the first records and this and that. And as you go back, because I kind of fancy myself as a curator of hip hop.
Okay.
And you start to realize, if you really start digging, how the Queens were really
instrumental.
Not even instrumental. I mean, like,
vital.
The beginning.
Well, I'm going to say this, and I don't say it much, and I don't say it often.
Get the dirt off your shoulder. Get the dirt off your shoulder.
I'm going to get this dirt off my shoulder. As I am not my doing the first hip hop song by a female was just a fluke and something I've never really been proud of. But as a female, being the only female for a decade to play hip hop music on the radio, I will take all of the credit.
No. And breaking it in a major market, huge market.
And wait a minute, the only market. You have to understand, outside of New York.
New York.
Outside of New York and Mr. Magic, I was the Mr. Magic of Philadelphia.
No, you was Lady B of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I'm saying in comparison. Like Lady Magic B was the only one playing hip hop in New York. I was the only one playing hip hop music on the radio for a decade, for 10 years, which means I broke everything in old school.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's right. Because every New Yorker I know, they were saying how they had to come to Philly.
That's right.
They had to. They had to come to Philly because again, Philadelphia is so amazing in this way. Philadelphia loved everything about New York. They wouldn't necessarily give us all the love that we needed, but I'm gonna tell you, when you brought something down from New York, they swallowed it up. Biggie literally sold about 375,000 copies in Philly.
That's right.
You got to think. Jay-Z got his whole crew from Philly. And Chubb, no, yes, I'm saying I brought me and you and brought Chubb to Philly 1,000,001 times. I'm saying when Treat Him Right was out, I tried to bring him to Philly every other week because the record was so active, as they say. It was so active. Again, listen, Chubb and Biggie. I think I brought them there. Chubb, Biggie, and probably DJ Kool and Jocko the Bear. I probably burnt them out because I tried to do them as much as I can because people just responded. Treat Him Right. Well, let me tell you something. That thing was like an anthem. That thing was electricity. And the show Lottie Dottie.
I still do my
Philadelphia broke that record before New York did.
I want you to stop saying Philadelphia broke that record. I need you to say Lady B.
Yeah, I'm taking my.
I'm taking mine. Y'all want to stop saying this shit. Y'all want to give me my props.
Okay, little B. Okay, little Richard B. Okay, little Richard B.
I'm getting a little radical over here. That's the point I'm making. Stop saying Philly and say me.
You gotta take it. You gotta take
it. Get it. Look, treat it right and get it right.
All right.
There we go. Hey, listen, I'm not mad about it because guess what? You deserving of that. You deserving of that. You live and kicking. And what we tend to do is give people their flowers when they're going. And so you're very like you earned every. The thing about it is in a time where it was overwhelmed by men, and you didn't buckle. Not one. You ain't compromise yourself. You ain't buckle. You ain't double talk. You did what you want to do. How you want. Even the times where your compadres, or you know what I mean, or your partners or your boss, they like, no, we don't want to hear that. No,
that's what I was going to say. Let's get back to the topic of racism and racism in hip hop back then.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how many people didn't want me to play this genre of music on the radio. Mm-hmm. It was a hard fight.
Yeah.
It was a hard fight.
What made you do that, B? What made you stay true to it? What made you stay diligent to it?
Number one, it was my life. Hip hop is not something you do, it's something you live. So it was my life. That one crate of records that I had that me and your mom had, Lady Luck, was it. That was, and I loved those records so much. And when I see my friends gravitating to this music, I had to convince them. There was an old Jewish lady, Dolly Banks, that owned that radio station. She didn't know my name. I worked there. I interned for 3 years, worked there for another 3 before she knew my name. But you want to know when she knew my name? When that hip hop show got on the air and those dollars start rolling in. She knew my name then. She spoke to me every morning.
Hey.
After that. But at first, she did not give a darn about me, did not care about hip hop music. It was hard. And I remember, I had a program director that told me I couldn't play Public Enemy.
Wow.
Like by any means.
Or Schoolie too.
Wow. No, but there was a lot of PDs that had
but by the time I did an edit on Schoolie, I took out all the curse words and took that 7-minute song down to a 2.5-minute song.
Right.
Curse words out, but it was Public Enemy specifically that I was told I couldn't play, and I remember being proud, and it's one of my proudest moments in my career, saying that I quit. If I can't play this, then I quit. And they looked at me like I was crazy because there was no other Lady B's to choose.
It's still not. It's still not.
Then there was no other jocks on the air playing hip hop. They like, if we lose her, that's the end of our gravy train. So, and it allowed me to stay. That's right.
That's crazy because I'm a kid on the West Coast, and so you guys got hip hop in sprinkles. When LA got hip hop, we kind of got flooded.
Oh, the rush! You got the rush.
Like they played us. They played a little bit on MTV. That's when it started getting commercial. But then when the box and all that other stuff came out, and they just flooded it. And I did radio. I did radio for 7 years after I finished playing. I did the morning show.
Wait a minute. What don't you do? You did radio too?
Man, I'm come on, man.
Renaissance man.
You know what I do. You know what I do.
He's a baller.
I'm about to forgive you for being a Laker. I'm about to forgive you, man. I love it.
Yeah, please don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, we got like drowned in hip hop, and we got it from all kind of sides. But when you guys on the East Coast got graduated to it, it was just like first you got what is this going on? before it hit radio, even before it hit mainstream, you guys knew a little bit about it. I think when we got it on the West Coast, it was just full on coming from everywhere. I mean, just everywhere. I mean, we thought that first we thought Rapper's Delight was a disco song because that's that track on behind it. But then after that, we really start to feel that culture. And New York, and like you said, Charlie, everybody in Philly was like, yo, we love New York, we love New York. We were the same way on the West Coast because everything that personified hip hop was New York. The dress codes, the fashion, the way you talk, the way you carried yourself, the way you do everything.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you guys had Egyptian Lover. You guys had all the cassettes. You know, that was a cassette
we was more to dance. We was more to dance, and you guys had that culture, so it was just a trip. And it was funny because I was talking about this the other day that hip hop was born on a revolution of trying to be peaceful. You know what I'm saying? Like it was wilding out, and then Kool Herc, all of them just like, yo, let's get together so we can be people. So block parties and all that other stuff. They was trying to be peaceful, and because we was talking about that because of the uprising that's going on right now. That all this ruckus, this craziness brought the birth of a peaceful hip hop and a culture that's just everybody is trending. It's so crazy how everybody tries to pick and choose from us, but just still won't give us our respect. You know what I'm saying? As black people.
For sure.
AB, listen, we got to take a few questions, and Chill Will from the Get Fresh crew, he's on the line. He's saying hello to everybody. Chill Will's on the line.
Wow.
He wants to know,
Chill Will?
And he wants to know, what's the first record you worked be? First record that you worked and broke. What was the first record you worked? Do you remember?
Did I work? What do you mean? That I played?
That you played, yeah.
I was going to say, because I was never promoted.
It has to be Rapper's Delight, right? Or your record?
Well, no, Rapper's Delight was played before. You have to understand, me and Rapper's Delight came out at the same time.
Got it.
So I wasn't the one to really break Rapper's Delight. That would be any a radio station that was willing to play hip hop music. This first hip hop record, that would be, like Butterball here, Charlie, and Philly was the first one to play Rapper's Delight. Now I would say after that was is when I got my Treacherous Threes and my Grandmaster Flash.
I thought you were gonna say a Treacherous Three, yeah.
Yeah, when I got those records, when I got my Spoonie G's and stuff, when I started playing those were the first songs I played on my hip hop show on the radio. Yeah.
What about Maestro? When did Maestro come in?
Maestro came in later, Charlie. That was a little bit later before we got to the Maestro. But in the beginning, it was my whole Zulu family. It was everything that Africa Bambaataa. And it was that era. It was it was everything that we pop locked and spun on our back and crab walked to. It was every song that a b-boy wanted to dance to. That was my first Creative Records.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pete, what was the first hip hop record or artist that inspired you to say, "This, I'm going to do this. This is speaking to this is my soul. It's pumping life into me." What was that first artist or record that did that for you?
I'm probably gonna have to say like Members Juice Crew albums and De La Soul.
Okay.
Like those and Special Ed actually.
Special Ed.
Those are some of the first records I broke. I Got It Made and Think About It, and then De La's first album.
Is that what brought you? Is that what pulled you into hip hop? No.
Yeah.
He was asking what artist pulled you into hip hop? What artist did you see?
On the radio, I didn't care. If it was funky, I'm playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think he didn't hear the question.
Those were some of the first records. And
what's the first person you heard bust a rhyme that made you love hip hop? Can you hear me?
Where is he at?
Yeah,
I don't think
what made me love hip hop.
Yes.
Yeah, what made you love hip hop? Who?
What record?
Definitely the early days, Kool Herc days.
Okay.
That's what made me love hip hop.
All right. There you go.
And listening to all the tapes and knowing about the dams in the Bronx and Bronx River Park, the amphitheater in Harlem, you know what I'm saying, and little cracks and crevices in New York, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. There you go. That's the answer we were looking for. Lady Luck, where are you living?
Those kind of things there.
I think it's Pete Rock with all the crunchy noise.
Yeah, he don't have no earphones.
No, it's the Wi-Fi.
Unfortunately.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. That's why my hat keep tilting because I read headphones at the last minute and I grabbed these. I'm in Jersey.
Okay,
And,
you're still in Jersey.
I'm still in Bergen County, still in Jersey, not too far from where we was at. And while you were sitting here talking about all the records you broke, I'm sitting here like I was a kid. I remember all of you guys. I remember you guys coming to the house. I remember my mom being with you guys and doing all that stuff. That's why it's just so crazy for me because I was a baby when all of you guys are doing your thing, and then like I'm still in the mix of the other generations as well. Like I've been through almost every generation of hip hop, and that in itself is a blessing.
It is a blessing. You've seen it all through your mom. You've seen just about everything.
Yeah, you guys.
But you know what? That's why you're going to be so dope at everything that you put your hands on, because you have all that potpourri of experience, you know, woven into you. So
I'm still waiting for Pete to send me my beats. I mean, Pete been telling me this since Radio Shack in Fort Lee.
Don't you hate it when a producer promises beats and they don't come through?
Pete promising me
not a producer, Pete Rock beat. A Pete Rock beat.
Yeah, there's a difference.
I love Pete. I love Pete. Hey, Pete, you're not messing with me.
I think I made about 1,000 beats in this quarantine, man. Come on, man, stop playing.
All right, you need to come off of some of those then. You need to come off some of those beats you've been working on, man.
Because he don't know I know where he lives, so I'm gonna hit him again after this.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit him.
She get ready to roll up on you. Let's get back to the serious part of the conversation. Cedric, I was checking out your page today, man. You got some very heavy posts and memes on it that I thoroughly enjoyed. Like I love the speech by Pop, the coach for the San Antonio Spurs. That was the most real thing I've heard a white man say in the last 2 weeks. It was so poignant and so honest, and share with everybody else what he basically said.
Yeah, well, you know, and it's not just the fact that he's catching what I call the black fever right now. Everybody's pro-black right now because of the uprising, but he's been that way from day one.
Right, from day one, exactly.
Yes, even when he was assistant, he's everybody's coach. Like, you know, if you guys played sports, can you imagine you just played a game or you're playing the game and the opposite team's coach says, hey, if you do this, this will make it a lot easier for you to do that. And you look at him and you go, you on the other team and you telling me how to be a better player? That's Popovich to the fullest. That's what he does. And he knows a lot about cultures. He's very well-rounded. He's a big lover of wine. But the fact of the matter is for him to stand up and not be afraid of any backlash. That's the biggest thing that's going on right now.
Super G.
And
Super G.
It really was.
Super G. We had an open forum in our downtown Dallas the other day, and I ended one of my speeches by saying it's time for the white privilege to use their white privilege against the white privilege.
I love that, man. I love that. I it out.
And it's just this is what I mean, because we collectively we have done everything. If you want us to tear stuff up, we're gonna tear stuff up. If you want us to rob and loot, if you want us to be peaceful, we've done everything. We have to hit them economically, but we also have to have our white friends. And Rihanna said it best. You know, if you got them white friends and you trying to go down to march or do whatever or make a protest, tell them to roll up, tell them to pull up on you, because that's what's going to make people making these changes. And that's what's going on now. All these mayors, all these governments, all these police chiefs, you know, they feeling it. They not only feeling it from us, they feeling it from all over the world. Paris, London, Africa, everywhere. They feeling it from all over the world. And that's what's making all these changes happen, because like I said, that white privilege is stepping up saying, man, if you saying that I got white privilege, then let me use my white privilege to help out. You know what I'm saying? What's going on against black people.
How do y'all feel? How y'all feel about the fact that I'm sure all y'all have gotten at least 1-2 calls from your Caucasian brother or sister. And I would say, if you're quiet, then you can't be my brother or sister. If you're quiet. How y'all feel about that?
I ain't getting no call from the white brother or sister.
Okay. Let me say it again. I'm saying, okay, let me say. So let's say this. In your place of employment, you have a Caucasian guy or woman that you work alongside, and they call themselves, at least a coworker. But again, I'm talking about they talk to you on the norm. They talk to you offline. Yeah. I don't need you to be quiet. I don't need you to talk to me offline. I need you to get on the front line, not offline, but on the front line.
Yeah,
so how do you feel about that?
Because I don't got no white coworkers.
Hey, Chubb.
You know
Hey,
what?
Chubb.
I got.
Brother,
You got Mark Cuban. You got Mark Cuban.
Yeah,
Who?
I got tons of them.
Yeah.
Said.
In that world, you probably would have that, but I don't have none of that, man. I don't have any of that. You know.
So no white friends, Chubb. No white friends, Chubb.
I come from a Caribbean thing, man. It's a different. It's a different.
It's a different thing.
You know?
It's a different
Yeah,
thing.
It's a different something. So
team.
yeah, it just we don't have a lot of that, man. You know, and it has nothing to do with any kind of any vitriol or anything like that. It just is not it just hasn't been around my circumstances so far, man.
Okay.
I particularly haven't had anybody, reach out to me and say, I know how you feel, my black sister, but I know all of my my friends of Caucasian descent, they've changed, people who I follow on Instagram, they changed it to the black icon, for their avatar picture.
Wow.
And I know a lot of the people that I follow, they have put up, say her name, Brianna. Like I've seen my white friends out marching, and people. So nobody's reached out to me, but I see them doing their part.
Yeah, I do.
Even like the white DJs that I know, even if I have to remind them pound George Floyd, and then they'll do their job. But other than that, I've seen everybody stepping up. Because it's a worldwide thing, like you guys were saying earlier. It's about
a humanity thing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is about humanity. And Wanda Sykes said this the other night on the Jimmy Kimmel show. She said it's time for us to get our white friends to talk to their white friends. And I'm going to have to agree with her on that one. Yeah, I love what I'm seeing.
I've had that, in the corporate world that I live in. Me being a vice president with the Mavericks, we have an inclusion call to talk about this. First, we had it amongst all the black employees to see if it was okay, how everybody was emotionally about it, and did they want to go through the whole corporation with it. Mark Cuban was all for it. I mean, you read about him, how passionate he is. He is the same way when it comes to this situation here. We have the first black woman CEO, Sid Marshall, on our staff. So that was huge. And one of the things that she's all about is the inclusion of everybody, whether it's female, whether it's your gender,
everybody.
It doesn't matter. Everybody. She wants everybody included. So this was an easy call. And it's funny, when we did have that call, you saw a lot of tears from our white employees. You saw that a lot of them really didn't know. They come from worlds that they didn't know how we were being treated, and it really affected. I mean, a lot of tears. But I think the biggest thing is really just my home in Phoenix. During this COVID, I always work out. I always walk the neighborhood 2 or 3 miles, just walking. And everybody who passes by, I wave. Some wave, some don't. This old lady, she had to be between 60 and 70. She pulls over, turns around, and stops me on the street. And just in tears, it's like, I feel so bad. I see you walk almost every day. I see you wave. I never wave back. I have never spoke to you. I'm so sorry. And she just went to this whole apology of because of what's going on. And a lot of this stuff that's really hitting home. It's a great thing that Will said that, it's been going on for years. It's just being filmed.
Yeah, it's just being taped now.
Really hitting home because it's right in their face. It's right in their hand, the palm of their hand. They get to watch it, and then they try to go, and then they realize, like, man, they're really not doing anything. We're thinking that they're bad people, and the cops are coming down on bad people, but they're not doing anything. And these people are acting. The lady in Central Park saying that starts crying and yelling on the phone, and the dude is filming her, and she's not doing nothing. She's choking her dog, and he's saying, "Oh, this black person." I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, a lot of that stuff goes on. But they be believing themselves. They be believing their counterpart, their white counterpartners, and don't realize that we're not doing nothing. We are human beings just like you.
We're lovers by nature. We're lovers by nature. By nature.
And the biggest thing, Charlie, we're not looking for revenge.
Right.
And that's what they think that all this uprising is.
Disrespect.
We're not looking for revenge. We're not looking to do what you have done to us.
Right.
We just want like an equal chance in the race. It's a race right now. We just want to be on the same starting line that you have. And have the same opportunities that you do.
This sister, did y'all see the sister that had the post on? She was talking about she equated it to a Monopoly board.
Yes, I saw that.
You've been playing Monopoly for 400 years.
Yes.
And every time you got to give all the money back. You got to start from scratch.
Yep, I saw
each time for 400 years. When I tell you she captured
nailed it
in 6 minutes. and I'm talking about it made me look at it totally different. I ain't gonna lie to you, because I was really on one about the looting, but she said something. She said they looted us. It's true. They looted us
at a higher level, at a higher rate.
They looted us. And again, luckily, like she said, luckily we don't want revenge. We just want respect. That's just it.
That's it.
Period. We just want respect. We're lovers by nature.
Yeah, but you want more than respect.
Yeah.
But you know, the reality to life is that when you break this down, there is more than just respect. There's more than just whether you feel there's some kind of fear that we will have some kind of, you know, revenge for you. But there's other things involved in this, right? Because black people can never be racist. You can be a bigot, but you cannot, by definition, be a racist. A racist means you have the control of another race's economic situation. You have the control of their educational situation. We don't have that. We do not have that kind of power over any race or anything like that. Remember, every HBCU is run by what? A church. And not a church, a black church either. You know, it reminds me of when Morris Brown was going to close and Tom Joyner was willing to put up $30-something million to school. And the church said, no, we basically would rather see it close than let this man who wants to put up $30-something million to save an HBCU. So at the end of the day, we don't have that situation. We don't have that influence yet. Right? It takes many, many generations to do that. I love the energy because it seems like we are going on the road to try to change some of these things, but we have to know what those things are. And it's not about you respecting me. I could care less what you respect.
Yeah, I'm that way too.
But there's a different infrastructure that we have to deal with, and those things come from, you know, when you deal with people, you know, people talk about white privilege, but do they really understand what that means? It isn't just
they don't.
What you talk about is white privilege. Is the fact that any of you going to, I guess, invite cows into your home, and are you going to take sheep and now give them rights? Because that's what we were, right?
Less than.
But you know, because at the end of the day, when you start to think about all that needs to be fixed, it could be something that you could look at it and say, wow, how is this possible? Right? How is it possible to fix all of those things?
It's possible, and like you said, we have to have a checklist. Like you said, we know it's way beyond respect, but it's about economics. It's about prison reform. It's about police getting their life together and being held accountable for the crimes that they're committing against our communities. It's about a whole lot of things that equal up to change. I mean, there's so much it's been so effed up for so long.
Yeah, that's funny.
This list is so long.
We are the only race of people that did not get their fortune by thievery. Okay?
Word.
The Italians came here and they was involved with street stuff. So were Jewish people, right? All of this kind of stuff. Even that's how the police even came to be. You had upper class people, and then you had immigrants, Italians and Jewish people in it, and they weren't getting any piece of the pie. So they went to the streets. And when they went to the streets, they basically said, okay, wait a second. It's my father's is a Caribbean term. If you don't feed me, I got to feed myself. So when they were going to cross the imaginary border, then that's when they said, oh, you know what we're going to do with you? We're going to make you police people. We're going to make you the police. Okay, so this way you won't mess with us. You can get your money from
Text them. Text them. Don't text us. Don't text us.
Who you will be able to have dominion over. But we are the only race of people that we didn't come through here with thievery. We didn't come in here with prohibition. We didn't come in here with any of those kinds of things. We came in as labor. So
it's crazy.
as you were thinking that you're scared of us exactly for what?
For what?
Now let me may I interject? May I interject? Scared of you because you're melanin. Scared of you because my family is heavy Christians and they're into the Bible and stuff. But then it says study to show thyself approved. So I went and started to study everything else, other religions. I've dealt with so many different beliefs. And I realized that the black man is God. It says it in your Bible. It says it in 127 in Genesis, how we were made in his image. But not only that, we had dominion over the earth, male and female, way before Adam and Eve were created. But they tell y'all a different story. Just like reading in the Bible, it says in Genesis 15:13 about how our people will be in a foreign land and will be slaves. And we will be enslaved for 400 years in a land that's not our own. And if you want to count the years of slavery, last year was the last year at that 400 mark was up. So now this year is the year that you see the uprising and things. See, I call it the unicorn syndrome. And what happens is black people don't know what they are and who they are, really, especially in America. So what happens is we get hated for that exact same reason, because we do not know what we are to the planet. We have, especially in America, we don't really connect with our roots. We don't have an identity. When you go to school, it's systematic. They tell you that your ancestors were slaves. We found this
and they don't go back any further. That's what I wanted you to say. Exactly.
Right. And that's the thing. But see, I'm different. I'm different. I study a lot. I believe in segregation. Why is that? Because when they came, and we got to talk about Trump going to Tulsa we got to talk about Trump
definitely, because that's just disrespectful.
Hey, but let's see what he's going to do. Let's before we pull our guns. I know everybody's on this hate Trump campaign, but let's see what he's going to do. You know what I'm saying?
Be the same ignorant person.
Right. Here's my thing. Here's my thing. Now here's the thing.
Don't let them bait you.
No, nobody's baiting me. My brother, I study. I am, if you knew, right? But my thing is this, right? He has the slogan, "Make America Great," right? Again, we'll debate on that last word. But
when has it been great, though? When has America been great?
No, make it great now. For the first time in America, like you said, for the first time in the history of the world, the whole world is having an uprising. There's different things that's happening. Unity, like the white people. Did you see the commercial they did where they're talking about? I'm at fault too. But the whole thing is that the world is now focusing on the inequality of things, and right now, change is inevitable. You understand what I'm saying? So whether the Bible says what the devil meant for evil, God will make good. So even if he's exposing all of the racists that we didn't know existed before, and I saw somebody earlier today liken the Black Lives Matter movement to the Me Too movement. And it's true, because now we're saying, this person was racist. Fire them from the show. So now they're losing their jobs. Now being racist is not cool. Now you have to, you have to reform or try to hide it. So I think that he's putting the light on certain things, whether he's doing it purposely or not. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm just saying I look outside the box and see what is actually going on. Unity and people marching together and a change coming.
It's true. And
my brother Rob Love said, cut the check for reparations. We start there.
And the court system too. I mean, we're talking about the police departments, but the court system is so messed up.
It's ridiculous.
Like they corner you into, hey, look, if you don't do 20, 25, 30 years, we gonna go incarcerate your moms, or we gonna incarcerate your daughter, or we incarcerate your son, or this, that.
We're gonna get to you some way.
Yeah, and you forced to go, all right, man, let me go. I can't put my moms in jail. You know what I'm saying? I can't put my kids in jail. So I go ahead and take the 30-year bid on a lot of situations where we don't have. But I think that's just wrong. Just like now, there's so many people still incarcerated over marijuana, but it's legal in so many states. Like, you still doing 30 years over marijuana? That's
horrible.
Legal now?
That's horrible.
That's crazy.
They talk about they got it. I spoke to a city council, Jordan Harris, and he said, "Well, Charlie, they got to go through. Go through what? If you made it legal, open up the gate. Period.
That's right.
Do
you know?
How do you think you feel as a black man to be sitting behind bars for selling weed, and you're getting letters from your family members that saying
they're making millions off of it?
That there's a weed store on your corner?
Right. Not only that, I'm smoking weed driving down Rodeo.
Yeah.
I got a pound of weed on me.
And it's legal.
Yeah, it's legal.
And it's legal.
And you're doing 10 to 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Bananas.
Correct.
Bananas. It is. Cedric, I think I told you, I looked on your page. I've become a fan now. Even though you was a Laker, I'm becoming a big fan. I'm becoming a big fan now. But what are your plans on continuing your work as an activist and like that awesome speech that you gave the other day, do you have plans to keep that going, or like what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, as much as I could do, I want to try to be willing to do it. The biggest thing I always said, like, I won't see a change. I'm 50 now. I won't see a change in my lifetime. I really don't. I don't really think that that's going to happen. But right now, it's a big
I
spark.
do.
Yeah, I'm like, what kind? That's no. We see it right now.
Listen to what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Let me finish this out. It's a spark that's going on right now. That's going to change a lot of people's mind. But what it's also going to do is make a lot of people go into hiding and change their tactics on how they come to us with racism. So now we're going to have to sharpen our swords too and try to figure out how we going to figure out
how we're going to pull them to the light.
We're going to pull them to light. That's what's going to happen. And do I think that's going to happen in my lifetime? I don't know. I pray that it does. But whatever the works that I'm doing now, I'm doing for my kids, my grandkids, and so forth. One of the reasons that make me really step up is my grandmother, who is no longer here. When Barack was elected, she called me and in tears, and she told me this story. When she was 7 years old, her brother was 11. Her mom and her dad would give her the deed to the house, the land, all their precious jewels and their cash, and hand her her brother a shotgun and hand her a handgun and say their goodbyes because they're going to go vote. I mean, just imagine being 7 years old. Wow. 7-year-old, and they hand you a pistol and say their goodbyes and say we're about to go vote and we may not come back.
And we may not come back.
Our life for this change. And that's what I'm willing to do. I'm my great grandfather and grandmother did that. I'm willing to do that now. So let's go.
But I'm gonna need you to be a little more optimistic. I want you to know that you will see it in your lifetime, because you're only 50, dude.
Yeah.
Right. I hope so.
Okay. With that being said, about what they were actually chancing was their lives trying to vote. What do y'all feel about people saying, my vote is hostage until I find out what I'm going to get? Like, it's two candidates. So if you don't vote for Joe Biden, then you voted for Trump. Period. Point blank.
This is the what we all have to understand and realize. We are facing two evils. It's like which one, pick your poison. Right. And to be totally honest with you, in my personal opinion, if Andrew Cuomo does not hop in the race, Trump will be getting 2020. Biden, I don't think, is a strong enough candidate. We're not, I don't think the country is going to rally behind Biden just because we don't want Trump in office. You know what I mean? And
but he's all we have right now. It's all we have.
Yeah. My thing is work it out. Get him in the office. It's like you purchasing a house. Don't worry about. Get the house first, then we could do we can renovate everything once we
can renovate it once we in the house.
And the thing about it, guess what? We can go in and talk to Biden. We can rip the kitchen
down and all that stuff.
We can go in and talk to Biden. We can go and talk to Biden.
So let me throw a monkey wrench in. Let me ask you.
Go ahead. Yeah, please do. Please do.
Now watch this. And Chubb, I want you on this, right? Excuse my language. Let's say Trump fucks your head up. Let's say on June 19th, he goes down to Tulsa and gives a speech about what happened there and gives a speech about unity in the country. How would you feel then?
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to answer it for y'all. Listen, in politics, you got to pass bullshit 101. And so he'll be feeding us bullshit. That's period. To get the vote. Listen, this stimulus bullshit.
I'd be angrier.
This stimulus package that he gave, the stimulus package that he just gave, this chicken feed that he gave out to the community, it's for to buy a vote. So again, he's going to do what he got to do. Guess what? I'm saying this pandemic that we in, guess what? You want to see a resurgence of that. I'm talking about another level. They're going to do everything they can do. So if you listen, I call it lip professing. He's going to say what he got to say to get what he want. Period, point blank. He's not trying to lead the White House.
I'm
telling you right now.
Pete, if you were from New York, you know Donald Trump very well.
Yeah.
He was in the club all day, looking for black women and doing he used to be in there partying with all kinds of celebrities. All of this stuff you see with him, his father, the racism with his father and their buildings and not renting to black people. There's nobody that's from New York that doesn't understand the racism of Donald Trump. There's nothing he can say to make you feel anything different.
That's right.
Now, he's going to jail when he's done with office. That prosecutor in New York about his taxes, they can't do nothing to him now because he's the sitting president. But he will go to jail after this is over. But here's the thing. When it comes to voting, if you're starving, right? Again, my family's from a third world country. If you're starving and on this plate is something you just do not like to eat, and then on this plate is some other stuff you don't like to eat.
Are you not going to eat?
So, but you're starving. You will damn near eat both plates.
Right, there you go. Facts.
Right.
Facts.
It's just what it is.
Facts.
Okay. So the reality to the voting situation is this. Biden is not important. It's how we tell Biden what
There
we
you
want.
go. There you go, Chubb. There you go, Chubb.
He doesn't have some sense where he's going to say, oh, well, I know the plight of the black. No. We got to go to him and say, listen, we already know what your plan is when you come in there. You're in there for a different thing. You want to wipe away certain other in little blemishes that have imbrued your family name, and you being president will be something that can do that. And we know you want to do that. But here's the thing. This is what we want. This is what we demand. And this is the scenario. It's the same thing that happened with what's the lady? Hillary Clinton.
So what's her name? Hillary Clinton.
Let me tell you the reason why. The minute I remember seeing her talk when she was going for president, I said, I didn't listen to nothing that she said. It was all nonsense. And then I said, the election is going to come down to who's her vice president. She could have went with Kamala. She would be president now. She could have went with Cory Booker. She'd be president now. You were the Secretary of State for a black president. You turned around and put a white man, Tim Kaine, that no one knows, out of Virginia. I knew she was over right there. I was like, oh, we now know how much you hated Barack Obama. We already seen it before. And you go from being his Secretary of State to go with Tim Kaine, with all these serious, great black people that you could have went with your. It's the same thing with Biden. He can go with Kamala Harris. He can go with Stacey Abrams. He can go with Susan Rice. He got plenty of people to pick from. If he goes with Elizabeth Warren, because he's thinking, well, I need the Republican white woman who's fed up with Trump now, but she'll probably say, oh, she want to be on this side of history. If he comes with his whatever in his mind, he's lost the election. He's lost the election. Period. I'm willing to
question. How about he pull the trick out of his head and say Bernie?
No, the Bernie. Two almost 80-year-old white people in the middle.
I got that. But
here's the scenario. Here's the scenario. Because it isn't about his presidency, man. The person that he picks will be president after 1 year, after one term.
After he kick that bucket.
No. There's no one in the world he runs twice.
Right. He's going to age out. He's going to age out.
The whole 80-something-year-old president is over. From the time Reagan was in there and he was eating jelly beans and all that, and they used to put old pictures of him up because he was already senile. So they're not going to do that again. So whoever he picks will be president. So
is America ready for a black woman to take the helm? That's the thing, because you said, are they ready?
After what's going on right now,
what they want. It's what they're going to get. If they're going to be a black woman who goes in there, here's the thing. There's never been any history of black women hurting any part of America. There's been no history of black women hurting white men, hurting black men.
We actually raised them. We taught them everything they know.
Because we're awesome.
Who do you think has all the education right now? Who has all the education right now? It's black women.
Black women. I don't think we get enough credit for everything that is going on. Besides the fact that we've given birth to the black men, and besides the fact that we've endured all of the pain. And when you read the Willie Lynch letter, making of a slave and things of that nature, all of the things that we had to go through, and then on top of that, going to work for these white families and raising their white children and breastfeeding them.
No, getting raped by them.
Yes.
Yeah. You see my complexion.
Make me sit up. Hold on.
Yeah. You see us too.
Listen. Send Winnie up to the house.
You know what I'm saying?
Fetch me Especially one.
Yeah, no. Let me tell you something. I agree with what you said, Chubb. Whoever is the vice president more than likely will be. I'm not going to count the man out. We are not God. We don't know when his last day will be. But I do know for a fact. I'm talking about Biden. I don't know what's going to happen with the man. We can't give him an expiration date. But I will say that he's all that we have right now.
Let's get Cuomo. I'm gonna start a petition to make
Cuomo coming as an independent, he would win. I believe. I'm saying everybody will rally around him. I just wish he would have had that moment a year ago. This moment that he's having right now. I think it might be a little bit. What we do know is we got Biden and we got Trump. We got Biden, and that's where we got to go. Period.
Yeah.
We can't listen. I think it's dangerous. I think it's dangerous. I told Charlamagne this, and I'm gonna say this again. I think it's dangerous because if you confuse our people, our brothers and sisters, if you give them any inkling of being out, they'll be confused and they won't go. Right. We quick to say.
That's what happened with Hillary. We just said we're not going to vote at all, and look what happened.
And all
we're stuck with this orange idiot.
No. But you got to back up from there. Hillary won the popular vote.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it wasn't like people didn't vote for her. I mean, she got the popular vote. I didn't like Hillary Clinton, and I voted for her.
Okay.
So it had nothing to do with that she didn't get the vote. Remember, the whole electoral college is a bunch of trickery.
It sure is.
It's what tricky leaks.
Tricky leaks.
Not WikiLeaks, tricky leaks.
Tricky leaks. Okay, I like that.
So, she won the popular vote. She won the popular vote. That wasn't the issue. People went and voted for her. A
lot of us didn't vote at all, Chubb. Like a
lot of us didn't vote.
And whatever that popular vote that she got, it wasn't from us.
Right.
No, of course it was.
She wasn't popular with us. She wasn't popular with us.
She wasn't popular with us at all.
No, it wasn't that she wasn't popular. No. You can't.
And you gotta understand, this country is still sexist as well. I don't know if they really see any. Thank you. Speak up.
I was just about to say that. That was the biggest thing.
She was a woman. They rather see a racist than a woman in the White House.
Yes. That's definitely a situation right there. It was just too much manism going on. And even that manism was coming from a lot of women. A lot of women were hating on Hillary as well. They didn't want her to win either. That's crazy. That's just ridiculous. Even though she may or may not have been qualified, that's really your personal opinion. But the fact that they were like, oh my God, we just went through this with Barack, and then oh no, I'm definitely not gonna have no women in the world. Yeah.
First we had a black man, now y'all want a woman, y'all doing too much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just need George Lopez to step up.
I hate to bring this to an end, but
this was a great session.
This was
and I'm upset. I'm upset. It's like we've been here for 10 minutes. Like literally.
I know.
It's like an amusement park where I want to do it again.
One thing I want to tell you, something that you need to keep in mind as we sign off. There's protesting, right? There's this need, there's this new energy, but try to think about what lurks in the background. You ever read Julius Caesar?
Read Julius Caesar. I haven't read Julius Caesar.
When you read Julius Caesar, and it tells you about how do you basically pull one over on your people. You either give them a cause or you give them a joke. And here's the situation. With COVID-19 and what Trump has done, he stopped the food programs that are paid a year in advance, knowing that 2 out of 3 meals for young kids come from school. Mm-hmm. He told them, oh, you got to go to school while you're at home, knowing that they didn't have internet. So you're going to have a generation of black kids that are being left behind. They didn't finish this semester. They might not finish next semester. Now, of course, there's different cities that have, New York has some things where they gave some kids some iPads, and they have some couple of rich people that have done certain things. None of that means nothing. This is the reality to it. There's a majority of young African-American kids, because of this system, that will be left behind because they are not able to go to school, period.
And that's why I say for the future of our movement, we need to be segregated because we need to stop depending on our oppressor to teach our children.
Thank you. We need to be self-taught.
Because when we were self-sufficient, just like when we were approaching the days of Tulsa and Wilmington, North Carolina, and Rosewood in Florida, when we need to become self-sufficient, stop looking outward and look inner and take care of our community ourselves, then we having a whole different discussion.
So look, that goes against what you just said.
Also, Chubb, what you said.
But that goes against what you just said, Luck, about Tulsa, about Trump being in Tulsa.
Suicide rate.
No, I just want to know.
Did anyone hear me?
Let's say what he's saying here.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
The children's suicide rate was skyrocketing.
Yeah.
When this corona and they shut the schools down, the kids that were available to get to their internet and do their grades went up because of the craziness that goes on in school. We all grew up being socially aware and being able to cope with, talking about each other or people getting on our case. The fact that they homeschooled so many kids that were in distress, that it lowered the suicide rate. So as much as you're saying, Chubb, that even though it's going to be a generation that doesn't have the internet, they don't have that homeschool helped out so many kids who have that peer pressure. Or I have to look a certain way. I have to be a certain way. Whether they have homosexuality problems,
suicide rate.
They can focus.
Yeah, but
excuse me. Hey, I'm the host here, and I say that it's been a wonderful conversation, but it's time for it to end.
B, let me just get one more, please. B, I love you. You're my godmother. Okay, I love you. I just want to hug you. Let me just throw that in because he said that I contradicted myself. What I was speaking in and what's really happening in reality and what needs to happen in reality. So Trump going to Tulsa is what is happening in current time. What needs to be done is we need to be self-sufficient and get back to the days of Black Wall Street and things like that. So, just to show
I just want to clarify. That's all.
I'm good. Don't talk to me like that.
Hey, guess what?
Beautiful.
I love you all. I love you all, every color that you are. Godspeed to all of you. Be well, be safe as the second wave of COVID-19 comes upon us. Whatever way you choose to voice your opinion, do it with love, do it with safety. I pray for you all, but we got the green-eyed man coming up. Grandmaster D is about to hit the turntable.
Grandmaster D.
That's another one from my childhood.
Listen, I thank y'all. Lady Luck, Cedric CEBALLOS, my brother Chubster, Pete Rock. I know he had some difficulties. We'll probably bring him back. But I thank you all for coming on. Thank you all for buying around. Thank you.